Hi, my name is Don Morse, and I'm excited to be a candidate for the Board of Directors for the Greyhawk Community Association. I've lived in this community for 21 years. I served on the board in a previous tenure for 8 years. Then I took a little bit of a break, and I have now been serving again for 2.5 additional years, and I'm pleased to run again.
What do you feel is the most important issue for the board in the next year?
We have developed a really wonderful community, both in governance, in management, in community activities, and it's very important that we keep that momentum going. And that brings challenges in an aging infrastructure. We have to be very careful, both fiscally and programmatically, on how we manage an older community and a community that addresses senior citizens as well as young parents with their children and teens. Those are really challenging goals. The board is a wonderful group of people who addresses each of those challenges quite effectively, I think.
What can the association do to help maintain or improve property values?
First of all, it becomes much more difficult for us to compete with brand new communities. We're in a prime location, we're close to everything, yet we have to be more vigilant than other communities in making our property look good. That includes our roads, our sidewalks, our landscaping, our walls, our painting, our monuments, and so many other things that the board deals with on a regular basis. To keep our community looking fresh impacts property values that we'll talk about later. However, our common property needs to be really fine looking. The other part of that agenda is our compliance issues. Each of our residents must be willing to comply with the CC&Rs so that their individual property is as well maintained and as consistent as our common area properties. And that is always a delicate challenge because not everyone reads the CC&Rs so carefully and not everyone feels that they need to adhere to them. But as a community that was planned and one of the premier master plan communities, we need to be very careful about applying gentle guidance to keeping those compliance issues in line.
In your opinion, in what areas does the board of directors need to improve?
We have a great board. They are collegial, they listen, they're respectful. They don't always vote their own opinion, but they listen to other opinions, they listen to residents, and they make decisions which are truly consensus-based before we have to have a formal vote. I think the greatest improvement I would like to make in board activities is to have more resident interaction. You can tune in to the board meetings online. We have wonderful new state-of-the-art communication systems. Or you can come and join us. There's always a time to ask questions at the beginning of the meeting. And frankly, we encourage questions in the middle of the meeting if residents have forgotten something or have an additional insightful comment. But community resident interaction with the board is what makes it go smoothly. You elect us, but during our tenures, we need to have your constant opinions and your interface with our deliberations.
In what way do you think you can enhance the board?
My specialty is nonprofit boards of directors, and I have spent 35 years guiding people to choosing good, compatible, talented board members, and then helping those members get the resources that they need to do their jobs effectively. I take pride in that, and I feel I have been very effective over my previous tenures and in this tenure. I try to offer opinions, but I also try to listen more than I offer, and that's saying something because I talk a lot. And then come to good directions that keep us a healthy board, a collegial board, and a board that best serves its resident community.
Do you think that you are capable of taking action that is beneficial to the community as a whole even if you personally do not agree?
That is something that your existing board is very good at, and I'm proud to be a part of. We all share our opinions, but we all listen. There is no adamant bullying or forceful direction from any board member, and that collegial atmosphere leads to easy decisions. It leads to decisions that are comfortable for the board as well as for the residents. The residents feel they have been treated fairly, and I often, internally, quietly, don't get my way, but I listen carefully and make sure that the board's decision is somewhere within my scope of acceptance. And I think we each, from time to time, negate our own personal opinions for the good of the community. One of the special concerns about the Retreat Village Association is that we own a lot of property, that it's a responsibility of every resident in the retreat. And it's our financial responsibility to keep that property up. We have numerous pools, tennis courts, systems which operate all of that, lighting, filtration, heating, and that takes a bit more care and concern on the part of the retreat board. Fiscally, it's a great responsibility. We have to assure that the retreats have the proper reserve funds, that each neighborhood in the retreats has its own proper reserve fund, so that the residents can be assured that their ownership of property will be maintained in the best fashion, which inevitably enhances their home value. It doesn't make much sense to skimp on our cost of operation and then find our reserve fund in arrears and then resort, which we have never had to do, to special assessments to make up for those things. We plan carefully and we reserve in advance, including consideration for inflation, so that we have sufficient resources to keep the retreats in excellent condition. And this is particularly sensitive when it comes to our gate system, our security systems for roads, and for traffic. We're liable and responsible for everything that goes on within our walls, and that adds a significant level of responsibility to our work as retreat board members. I think that we have done a great job, and I would be pleased to continue working in that capacity.